Welcome. Hey guys, welcome. It's going crazy on this conference call line. It is loading up with so many people right now. A lot of people from my home state of Maryland. Woo, woo, woo. We are all here because the awesome Dr. Stephen Krauss, the formulator of O2 Drops, is about to do a Q&A session and let us know the power of oxygen, how oxygen is life, how it is created, answering questions, showing people what oxygen does to heal the body. You've got to listen in. So I'm going live on my Facebook wall and YouTube with this. Guys, you definitely want to tune into this information. If you're seeing this on Facebook, run it as a watch party. Get this information out into the airwaves. If you're here online, comment. Let me know where you're calling from and give me your name here online. Also, let me know if you can hear okay.
As well. So very good. Going to have a lot of excitement here tonight. Got a great call planned for you all tonight. We're going to get going here in just a minute as we get ready to pass you out on this
filling up.
Details because we're going to lift this bird.
Welcome, Jose.
We're going to share some information with you all that's going to knock your socks off.
Yes, this information is going to knock your socks off. All of my friends who purchased O2 Drops today, anybody who's heard of O2 Drops, you got to tune into this information. Hello, Jose from Lexington, North Carolina.
So, introduce yourself so far. Let's hear who you are, where you're calling from.
This is Liz from Dallas.
Welcome from Dallas. Glad
Dallas
to be
in the
here.
house.
No kidding. All right.
The lines are packed out from East Coast to West Coast and everywhere in between.
We'll get this thing kicked off.
Hey, this is Steve. This is Dr. Krauss.
Oh, Dr. Krauss is here. Okay.
Dr. Krauss has entered the building. A lot of people logging on to the call right now, guys. We'll be getting started in about a minute or two. Share this as a watch party. Get this information out. Oxygen is life. You hear me? Oxygen is life. You got to hear about the power of O2 Drops. And here we go.
All right, Dr. Krauss, can you hear me? Dr. Krauss, if you hit *6, that'll unmute your line. Hit *6, and then we'll get this call kicked off.
All right.
There we go. Awesome. Pleasure to meet you, Dr. Krauss. Very, very good. All right. Well, let's get this call kicked off. I am going to hit the recording, and we will get started.
The recording has started.
Well, welcome every one of you. Welcome out to THI Live. That's right, THI Live. It's so great to have each and every one of you here with us on this Friday evening. And I tell you what, you guys can feel the buzz that is going on wrapped around this product. I can tell you from personal experience, this product here that we're going to talk about tonight has been totally life-changing. And over the past week to 2 weeks, we have just seen a plethora of testimonials coming in based on this amazing product we're going to talk about here this evening. But I'm not going to steal any of that thunder. I am going to turn it right over now to our very own Shelly Faree to take us through this call tonight. So, Shelly Faree, the floor is yours, my friend.
Okay, thank you so much, Chip. And oh my goodness, I don't know if it's because everyone is just quarantined and we're all home, but man, it sounded like everybody was looking for a party. They came out in force. Wanting to hear this information tonight, and that is so exciting. But I really, really, really want to thank Dr. Krauss for agreeing to do this call. We have known him now for probably going on about 15 years. Dear friend of ours, wonderful person, brilliant man. But when I reached out to him to do a call, he said, well, Shelly, I've kind of gotten away from speaking engagements. I've pretty much retired from my teaching calls and that kind of thing. He said, but you know what? For you guys, I'll do this. So huge thanks. We are so grateful. I know everybody wants to hear this information tonight. So Steve, thank you very much for that. And I would, if you would, just for a few seconds here, tell us how long have you been working with oxygen? Tell us a little bit about you before we get started with our
Look, Shelly, that question's going to make me feel even older than I am.
That's okay.
I actually started doing research on oxygen, the powers of oxygen, especially as it's used for as an antiseptic and as a disinfectant. Oh, good Lord, going back to the late 1970s. And I had gotten involved doing some consulting with a company that was in the wastewater treatment industry, and they were looking for an alternative to chlorine to kill pathogens in wastewater. And that's where I got introduced to this product by the original inventor of the process. He's passed away, unfortunately, now. And he was kind of my mentor, and he was a remarkable physical chemist and process control engineer. And he developed the process for the very first oxygen solution that we were using, again, as an ingredient for wastewater processing. And I discovered that it had some potential benefits because it was not toxic, it was not caustic, it certainly was not chlorine, it wasn't carcinogenic. And that's when I started looking at it as a possible human use dietary supplement. And so we did more research. So again, it goes back a lot of years. I was a lot younger and had a lot more hair on my head.
That's okay. That's all right. Well, thank you for that. So the bottom line is you've been at this oxygen thing for a long, long time. And like I said, I've known you. We've been taking a product of yours for years and years. And we're just excited to talk about it. You know, we are in a crisis situation in our country and actually all around the world. And our company kind of started doing some independent studies on the product, and so we wanted to get you on the phone, and I've got tons of questions, but we're only going to go through the biggest ones tonight, and then maybe I can send them to you, and you might be able to write up some answers, and I can get it to the team, because there's no way we could get all their questions answered, in a timely manner. So we're going to make the best use of our time tonight. First off, what is so important about O2 drops, and why are these drops unique?
Well, Shelley, you and I both know this is one of the first questions we always get. So let's see if we can really summarize and list why this is such a unique dietary supplement. You know, it's been oxygen is a dietary supplement. It's been available, for at least 40 years in various forms. And let's talk about some of those forms if we can. In therapeutic settings, these supplemental approaches involved an attempt to somehow stabilize oxygen atoms in one form or another in a liquid medium. And then, of course, that medium could be digested or ingested. Some of these early formulations used ozone, which is actually O3, 3 atoms of oxygen combined into one molecule. Or they involved dissolved oxygen as a gas, which is also called diatomic oxygen, or O2. And this is the same oxygen molecule that we breathe for life. Now, unfortunately, these molecules of oxygen, the O3 and O2, cannot remain dissolved in a water solution for very long. And it's simply because they quickly dissipate. It's just the nature and the chemical nature of the atoms themselves. You can't keep them in solution for a long period of time. At best, you're looking at a couple of minutes, and most of the time, you're only looking at a few seconds. So the next approach was to try to find a way to stabilize more oxygen of the molecules in water. And this process was an attempt to use what we call food-grade hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. It's basically a water molecule, H2O, combined with an additional atom of oxygen. I don't want to get real complicated into chemistry, but I'm trying to give you an idea of what these molecules and these atoms are all about, is when they have to do with oxygen. And this water molecule and an extra atom of oxygen makes H2O2. Now, we need to understand that when I talk about hydrogen peroxide, it's not the hydrogen peroxide in the brown bottle that's underneath the sink in the bathroom that we use as a disinfectant. That peroxide cannot be taken internally. It absolutely cannot be consumed because it contains stabilizers and chemicals that are actually toxic. We're talking about medical food-grade peroxide in a pure form. And again, food grade is really what we're talking about. Unfortunately, this molecular form of oxygen is extremely caustic. It can even be dangerous. It can so concentrated in oxygen molecules and the concentration of hydrogen peroxide that the oxygen molecules break down, the oxygen is released as a gas, and it becomes literally something that can be flammable and can explode. So we absolutely don't recommend the use of hydrogen peroxide for consumption as a dietary supplement to really improve the oxygenation of the body. So when you dilute hydrogen peroxide down in water, especially food-grade hydrogen peroxide, it breaks apart into a water molecule and a single oxygen atom known as O1. That atom occurs out of a natural physical chemical process, and it just happens no matter whenever you put oxygen or hydrogen peroxide in water. That single oxygen atom rapidly combines with another single oxygen atom that's in the water, breaking down out of that hydrogen peroxide molecule and forms O2. Again, that's the same oxygen that we breathe, but that water can't hold that oxygen very long. We've already explained that, so it dissipates and it's gone in a matter of minutes, if not seconds. It just depends on the temperature of the water. It depends on the contaminants that's in the water, the chemicals in the water, the minerals that might be in the water. It just doesn't last very long. That process, Shelley, is what we call oxidation. That release or the combination of oxygen with other atoms and the dissipation. Like ozone and oxygen in a gaseous state, hydrogen peroxide is short-lived. Heat and sunlight can break it down instantly. At most, again, we're looking at 15 seconds or so, or maybe a minute or two. So there had to be another approach. There had to be a better way, a better mousetrap. And as I explained, this chemical engineer that I was working with, the process control engineer, had a method that he learned when he was very, very young. And he was able to stabilize oxygen in water using a process that he had actually forgotten and had to recreate. And we were able to accomplish that working with him. And he came up with an oxygen molecule that was very different than the above molecules. Now, before I get into that process, let me just mention one more thing, Shelley, if I can. The third method that was tried to be used was to approach the stabilized oxygen molecule using chlorine as a chemical compound to stabilize the molecule, and it's called chlorine dioxide. Chlorine dioxide is actually only allowed for use by the FDA for use as a modified bleaching agent for paper, for flour, and also for tanning hides. It's forbidden for human consumption by the FDA, and yet almost every single oxygen supplement that's available today, go out to Amazon, go out on the web and look it up, is based on chlorine dioxide. Chlorine dioxide has an extremely high alkalinity. It's toxic, it's caustic, it's dangerous, and after more than 30 years is being touted as the oxygen supplement, the only oxygen supplement that can be used. There is not one shred of scientific or medical research that even gives you an indication that it can be absorbed and improved human metabolism. So I just need to stress again that has never been proved. It's a bad method. It's toxic. It's caustic, and nobody should use it. It can actually do harm to the human body. Now, back to our molecule. This molecule, Shelley, was really unique. And as you and I have talked about over the years, what we were able to do was stabilize 4 oxygen atoms together. That's called polyatomic tetraoxygen, tetra meaning 4. It's a very unique molecule. It's obviously twice as heavy and as stable as an O2 molecule in water. And what's really neat is when you add it to water, it eventually breaks down into O2, actually 2 O2 molecules. And those molecules can easily be picked up by the blood and escorted to all the cells in the body. It's the safest paradigm in oxygen supplementation, and that's what's in O2 drops. So again, that's what makes O2 drops so unique. It's different than anything that's been on the market. Now, what we did to make it even more unique, the O2 drop formulation, is we added a unique and proprietary blend of what we call plant-derived living minerals to help promote energy production. Again, we call these minerals living minerals.
Well, what in the world do you mean by living minerals? What is that?
That's a great question. Now, we're going to get into, again, some more maybe technical things, but I really want everyone to understand that it's not as complicated as it sounds. Plants perform an amazing transformation of essential and trace minerals that are present in the soil. The process begins when these elemental minerals in dirt and in rocks are dissolved in water and are then absorbed up through the plant root system. That first process, the transferring of those minerals from elemental dirt and rock minerals into the plant for future processing, first quantum state of that mineral. You can't eat dirt and rocks, but let's see what the plant does with that mineral when it takes it into the actual metabolic functions going on within the plant. That plant then takes that first state mineral and takes it into a process called photosynthesis. Almost everybody's heard of photosynthesis. But we can understand that's when the plant creates sugar using carbon dioxide and water, and as a waste product produces oxygen. Well, what happens is, when it goes through that next state of utilizing that mineral, the living mineral, it changes that mineral's electrical charge. It's altered, and it changes the mineral into a second quantum state. These minerals, the minerals, rather, Shelley, that are not needed for the metabolic photosynthesis synthetic process have to be stored. The plant doesn't really have any way to excrete it like the human body. It has to do something, so it stores it. And when it stores those extra minerals that it doesn't need for photosynthesis into the leaves and into the stems, the minerals become the third quantum state of the mineral. That's the state that our bodies recognize as food nutrition. Our bodies can't recognize first state and second state minerals as nutrition. Our bodies can't use them. Our bodies can only excrete them and get them out of the body. In some cases, they can actually be toxic. So it's the third state minerals that are important. Every time these quantum minerals changes occur literally at the atomic level, the electron spins and the orbits containing the electrons actually change. And as these changes happen, there's a change in the electrical potential of the minerals. Now, for us to benefit from the power-packed nutritional third state mineral content stored in a plant, the electron spins of the mineral atoms have to be different than the same mineral that's found in the soil. Again, as I said, we can't eat dirt and rocks to get our nutrition. The energy-producing processes in the body have to really rely on the exchange of electrons. The body doesn't know what an atom is called. The body doesn't know when we say it's eating calcium or eating magnesium or eating zinc. Your body could care less. A name doesn't mean anything to it. The name doesn't, the name that comes up because a scientist decided, or somebody who discovered the mineral gave it a name, the body doesn't care. All it looks at is what is going on at the electron level for energy. And it uses that energy for all the metabolic processes in the body. It's this spin that makes the living minerals so unique, because they're the right spin and the right charge for every single process in the human body. The living minerals that we have in O2 drops, the zinc and the magnesium, in combination with the powerful oxygen that we have there, literally comes from an ancient Paleolithic form of a substance called lignite. And lignite is basically what happens when peat moss from ancient plant sources are compressed and they form lignite. If that process goes on for a longer period of time under more pressure and heat, it becomes coal. But we're not talking about coal, we're talking about lignite. Our proprietary process literally goes in, it's a cold water process, and we extract those living minerals from ancient pure sources of plant material. And those plants actually form a colloid material. The size easily absorbed by the cells. And of course, as we mentioned, zinc and magnesium are the essential living minerals for more than 300 different metabolic processes in the human body, most involved with energy production.
Wow.
That's really why these living minerals are so unique.
That is absolutely amazing. Now, Dr. Krauss, we are definitely fighting this virus thing, and maybe it's not just the COVID-19, maybe it's just, viruses in general. Is there anything that O2 can do to help fight this virus and others?
Well, it's a great question, and as you and I both know, one of the things we need to say, to preface anything that goes on, from this point forward, discussing viruses, is that O2 drops is a dietary supplement, and it is absolutely not designed, not intended to treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. Now, I'm saying that as a disclaimer so that everybody understands we're not doctors, we're not prescribing medications, we're simply dealing with metabolic health and nutrition. That being said, let's talk about this COVID-19 virus. Most people that I've talked to believe that a virus is a living organism. I don't know if you think that, but most people do. And the fact is, it's not. Unlike bacteria and yeasts, molds, parasites, a virus does not live and reproduce itself in the bloodstream. It has to enter a host cell where at that point it becomes activated, and it then alters the cell's functions so that the cell ceases its original purpose, and then can only replicate more virus proteins. Most people don't understand that, but that's really what's going on with a virus. It's not living, it's just a fragment of DNA and protein that's looking for a way to reproduce itself, and it has to do that utilizing a host cell. Now, when it connects to a cell and changes the cell's function, and the cell starts reproducing more virus fragments, the cell can't hold all of the fragments that the virus is telling it to make. The pieces get more and more dense. The cell can't hold them any longer. The cell explodes and releases all those virus fragments into the bloodstream. The cell dies, of course, and those cell fragments then scatter about in the bloodstream, looking for more cells to attach themselves to repeat the process over and over and over again. This happens millions and millions and millions and billions of times when the host or when a virus enters the human body. Now, because viruses aren't living organisms, there's no vaccine that can kill them when they've invaded a host cell. The only chance that a body has to destroy those fragments is during the brief time, and it is very brief, between when they go from one cell, burst out, and go to another cell in the bloodstream. Now, surrounding each virus fragment is something called a layer of fatty acid lipids. And that's just a fancy name for what is called a capsid virus envelope. Now, this envelope, and it is like an envelope because just like a letter that you put in an envelope, it's, lick it and seal it, it surrounds the fragment. Okay? This envelope contains crucial proteins that allows the virus, we're talking about the COVID-19 virus specifically right now, that allows that virus to attach itself to a host cell. Think of it as super glue. Okay? It's got all this super glue on itself, and as soon as it gets near a host cell, it glues itself to it immediately. The virus got those lipids from the host cell that it invaded and destroyed. And that's the process that it goes through over and over and over again. The capsid layer is insoluble in our bloodstream, which is primarily water. So you can't dissolve, it's like a waxy ester. It's a waxy coating. The only thing that can easily dissolve it is a solvent. What's the best solvent? Alcohol. Well, you don't want to put a lot of alcohol in your bloodstream That's a crazy way to do it. You'll probably wind up with worse conditions if you do that. But of course, alcohol is what's in most hand sanitizers, and that's the reason why. Because the alcohol dissolves that outer layer, and once that's done, the virus fragment dissipates, destroys, falls apart. Now, the neat thing is that oxygen, just like what we have in O2 drops, even though it's not an alcohol, also oxidizes the capsid layer of a virus, and so destroys those fragment lipids. That's what's really neat about the O2 drops.
Wow. Because we've talked in a lot simpler terms in the past about disease and how they can't live in just making our cells healthy and plump and round and getting rid of illness. And so you just explained that this virus is just coming in and attacking cells, and if the cells are weak, that's when the people are getting sicker. And you're right, you can't do a vaccine on this thing. That is absolutely what you have said. Oh my goodness. I hope you all understood that.
Does that help explain, Shelley, what you're dealing with the virus?
Yes. And it explains how, everybody's hand sanitizing because the alcohol will kill it. And so the O2 internally is also going to help your cells get rid of this virus germ stuff.
Absolutely.
So
building your immunity. You have to remember, Shelley, I talk about this years and years and years, and that is that, one of the key functioning of our immune system are white blood cells. And they utilize a form of hydrogen peroxide when they surround and kill invading pathogens that are in the bloodstream, which includes viruses. Again, those are a fragment. The body sees it. The antibodies get triggered. The body says, aha, this is something we need to kill. It goes out with the white blood cells to destroy those microorganisms or fragments, cell fragments of the lipid layers of the viruses, and surrounds it and hits it with peroxide. It can't hit it with alcohol because white blood cells don't produce alcohol, but they do produce hydrogen peroxide, which we explained earlier is a water molecule plus an oxygen atom. So that's kind of really what's going on in the bloodstream.
Wow, that just gives a lot of people hope. I mean, did you guys hear that? Did you hear what he just said? So there's many, many reasons, to take O2 drops. So what do you think? Somebody that feels healthy, somebody that feels really sick, should everybody be taking this? And why? What's the number one reason why we should oxygenate?
You and I both know the real answer to this question, but it's redundant, but let's just say it. We know that oxygen is at the heart of every single energy process in every single one of the cells in our body. The average human being got over 32 trillion cells in the body. 100 billion of those cells are in the brain alone. And there's over 2 billion muscle cells, just like those found in the human heart. When you think about it also, Shelley, 50 to 70 billion cells die every single day in our body. And those cells have to be replaced. Many of them aren't, which is part of the aging process, but many of them are. That all takes oxygen at the cellular level. Without oxygen, the human body can't produce the energy it needs to repair and to help cause the functioning of all the cells in the human body. O2 drops, when we use them as a dietary supplement, helps increase the availability of oxygen for every single metabolic function in the human body. We also have an independent study that we did, Shelley, on the oxygen that's in O2 drops. There was a double-blind published study in a major medical journal that demonstrated that the oxygen in O2 drops actually decreases the buildup of lactic acid. Now, we never really talked about this much in any of our calls we've done, but lactic acid is a waste product that's produced out of muscle contractions. So when muscles contract, that process uses oxygen and energy, and one of the waste products in a muscle cell is lactic acid. When the body can't metabolize out the lactic acid fast enough, the lactic acid builds up, and it's that buildup of lactic acid that causes pain. O2 drops, especially when used for endurance or athletic activities, or even for a weekend warrior, helps reduce lactic acid muscle pain. That's significant. We tested it on athletes, on premium athletes that are well-tuned bodies, and it works every single time. So that's something we never really talked about. Everyone should take the product. There's nobody who can't use this oxygen-based product. We all require oxygen to breathe. We all require oxygen to function. It takes less than 3 minutes for our brains to cease to function. If they don't get oxygen, the brain will shut down. If it doesn't get the oxygen that it needs, this is really something that we have talked about for so many years. Individuals with respiratory issues or those suffering from other medical problems usually have lower body oxygen levels. Most people have anywhere between, if you were to measure with a pulse oximeter or even do essential blood gas studies where you're actually pulling out invasively oxygen and testing the actual levels of oxygen in the human body, are somewhere around 97 to 98%. Occasionally it's maybe 99%, but nobody is at 100%. Literally no one that is healthy and in normal conditions. Individuals, again, with respiratory issues or those suffering from maybe other medical problems can be between 85 to 90% in their oxygen saturation. And medical professionals, Shelley, know that when the human body has an oxygen level lower than 88%, as measured with an oximeter, for example, you're in dire need of more oxygen and you have a dangerously low oxygen content. If this is kept up for a period of time, your organs will start shutting down, your body won't be able to release the toxins, and, basically you're in for a serious, serious medical condition. So,
wow. And
again,
they keep saying with these ventilators, sorry.
Go ahead.
That they were saying, too, all of these patients that, are in getting the ventilators and stuff, all of them are tested, and they are so low, their oxygen levels are just horrible. So I'm thinking, man, they need this.
Yeah, unfortunately, those on a ventilator have also been sedated seriously and, are, for all intents and purposes, unconscious. And they have to do that because anyone that's had a tube intubated or been intubated understands that, if you put something down your throat, the first reaction is to try to drag it and rip it out of your throat. So you've already got somebody that's basically in a semi-coma, and, their breathing levels have slowed, even though the oxygen is being forced into their lungs to help them breathe. It's not normal. It's not a normal process. And basically, those that are in that condition, they have found in dealing with, again, the coronavirus situation, those individuals tend to be revived less than people who are not put on respirators. So this is just a terrible, terrible state that the world is in, our country is in, and all we can do is just ask people to please be safe, wash their hands, keep a good social distance, and oxygenate their bodies with O2 drops.
Yes.
Right. One thing that I wanted to bring up, too, because I know you talked a lot about the sanitation and the things like that. We've been told, and the company has run some studies, I don't know if you saw that report from Dan or Jonathan or Travis, about, using the O2 drops to sanitize. Tell us a little bit about that, because everybody's dying to know, can I bathe in this stuff? Can I spray it on my fruits and vegetables? What can you do as far as the sanitizing with this?
Well, that's a great question, Shelley, and we've been doing antimicrobial research on our solution, the O2 solution, for about 30 years, and we've tested it probably on 20 or 25 different microorganisms. And in all cases, if the organism is anaerobic, and by anaerobic we mean non-air tolerant, and that means the organism can't exist in an oxygen environment. It's meant to be anaerobic or in a non-oxygen environment. Our solution will kill that organism every single time. That's not, a miracle, other than the fact of looking at the fact that oxygen in itself oxidizes these microorganisms. Mm-hmm. It has to do, again, with oxygen attacking the lipid layers of the cells and attacking them in such a way that it decomposes the cell, causes a cell rupture, and all of the cellular contents of those microorganisms spill out and the cell dies. Oxygen has been used, specifically ozone and hyperbaric oxygen in treating so many different viruses, so many different bacterial infections, literally going back to World War I. So it's been around a long time. It's been proven. But the thing is, it's not a patented process. So it's not really endorsed by, obviously, big pharma, the pharmaceutical industry. And the FDA has shown a negative light on these types of processes. And it's really sad, but that's just the state of affairs. Now, I can talk about it as an author and as a speaker, but the one thing that we can't do is recommend that this be used for sanitation or for disinfection. That starts moving us into the realm of the EPA and the FDA, which govern sanitizers and disinfectants. And this product is not approved for that, but we can talk about what oxygen does. And there's no hurt or harm in talking about what oxygen does. That's what hydrogen peroxide does. That's what ozone does. That's what hyperbaric oxygen does. And that is that it increases the oxygen level of the human bloodstream. It helps improve oxygenation in the human body. And that oxygen helps fight off infections. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. No, I know people are going to be like, wow, this is great. Is there, you can't take too much of this, right? I mean, if I wanted to drink the whole bottle, I'd be okay.
You certainly could. I can tell you that some of the doses that our family has used has been up to almost a half a cup at a time. So,
wow.
That's a sizable amount of solution that was used for, obviously, some different modalities that we were trying to do for ourselves, for our family. You can't take too much. The simple fact is that the ingredients in this solution, which are distilled water, it's also a small amount of sea salt. We need that in order to process and create the solution. Oxygen molecules, and of course, plant-based zinc and magnesium. None of those are toxic in any form. I mean, you have to drink gallons and gallons and gallons at a time in order for you to basically drown yourself. That's what the damage would be. It would be drowning. It wouldn't.
Yeah, or you'd have to be going to the bathroom all day. That's the point.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that because basically you're cleansing the body if you're doing that. But I think what you're saying, and I'd say, Shelley, is really true. There is really not too much. It doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a homemaker, whether you're an infant, whether you're a senior citizen, whether you're pregnant. It doesn't matter. There's nothing in this product that in any way contraindicates any medication that you might be taking, nor would it affect the human body in any kind of negative way. It's just oxygen.
Love it.
Oh, man, that is absolutely fantastic. Well, Dr. Krauss, as always, you're brilliant. So much information, guys. And I know there's a lot of other questions and a lot of things, but we've got resources as well. We've done a couple of Zooms. Go into the group, listen to the testimonials. You're going to hear everything from people using this with their pets, using it with their children, using it for pain. I mean, you name it. It's kind of like what I always say is when I take it, it seems like it knows exactly where my issue is at the moment. So if I'm feeling tired and I take it, I get a little boost. If I'm feeling stressed and excited and, nervous, I take it and I calm down. It is just, it goes to the cells. And it goes where it needs to go. So I need you guys to do a couple things. Go and watch the Zooms, the testimonials. Go to our website, click on resources, download the different documentation that's on there. There's the fact sheets, there's how to use VO2, ingredients, all those kind of things. And then Dr. Krauss has written a book, and it's called Vitamin O, Nature's Most Important Dietary Supplement. You can get that book on neurolifecentral.com. So get that book. It's very, very good. It's going to give you all the ammunition that you need to, inform yourself, but be able to help share this product with people. So definitely get that book. I just want to, tell you, hey, if you enjoyed this call, get back to whoever shared it with you. Find out how you can get involved. Find out how you can order. Right now, we have a special going on. Buy 2 bottles, get 1 free with free shipping all month long. So definitely take advantage of that. And Dr. Krauss, I can't thank you enough for taking this time with us tonight. I know you're busy. I know you stopped doing these things, but you did it for us and Rick and I and our whole family and the entire Alert Life family. We thank you from the bottom of our heart.
Well, thank you, Shelley. You know, I have a fondness that runs deep and long, you know, for you and your family, for Rick, and it's such an honor and a pleasure to be part of what you're doing. I make you this promise and commitment that you gather up whatever questions may be coming in over the next week or two, and we'll either answer them in writing or we can do a follow-up call to address some of those questions. You know, I'm here for you anytime, night or day, and it's done out of love, and you're a wonderful, wonderful person, and I like I said, I can't be more blessed than to be involved with you.
Oh, well, God bless you. We love you very much and appreciate that. But you hear that, guys? You can send me questions, and what we'll do is I'll compile another list for Dr. Krauss, and maybe we can schedule another call at his convenience. If you can squeeze one more out of him, that would be wonderful. And I know you don't like to, or you're not that you don't like to do them, you're just kind of getting away from it. So I appreciate that.
Only for you. Honest to goodness, it's
all right. Thank you. I am honored. That is wonderful. So, Chip, let's do this. Let's open up the line real quick, and how about everybody say thank you to Dr. Krauss, and then we'll let this call go. So, open it up and tell them thank you. Unmuted.
Thank you, Dr. Krauss. I appreciate you, but hold on, guys. I've got some super duper information I want to share with you from this health news newspaper where doctors recommend liquid oxygen formula. So let me tell you a little bit about O2 drops and share some personal things with you. So as you can see, I've been in wellness for years, guys, and I promise you, I have not seen one product that is this affordable that helps with so many different ailments. Look at this. No more memory loss, heart problems relieved, lupus symptoms decreased from liquid stabilized oxygen. We call this a miracle in a bottle. Now, you've just heard from the formulator, Dr. Stephen Krauss, and he talked in a lot of scientific terms. And if you saw my face, I was really thinking, being very deliberate in my thoughts to take in and learn and process what he was sharing. But all I know is this. I was introduced to this product 4 years ago. And I've been excited about this every day for the last 4 years. Why? Because as I use this myself and share it with others, I'm telling you, the testimonies keep rolling in. I don't know if you can see this. This was my face before O2 drops. It had lots of discoloration, lots of acne, bumps all over. I was always running to the doctor to get some type of prescription. Help, doctor, help. I started using these O2 drops on my face, and can you see the difference? Complexion clear, complexion smooth. It saved my life. Ladies, use O2 drops on your skin. It has amazing anti-aging benefits. I used to wear foundation all the time. Now, thanks to O2 drops, I don't use foundation anymore. I wash my face, put a couple of drops on my face, just dab it in. And I am telling you, this helps keep me looking young and keeps me out of the dermatologist. So I love O2 drops personally for that reason. Now, let me read you this list of some of the things that liquid oxygen helps with. It creates more energy. It relieves MS symptoms. It helps to heal the body faster. It helps the body to heal itself faster. Yes, it does decrease tumors. I'll talk about that in a moment. It improves hearing. It relieves edema, swelling. It restores breathing. It decreases recovery time for athletes. It clears brain fog. It relieves lupus symptoms. It eliminates disease. All pain, all suffering, all disease can be traced back to a lack of oxygen at the cellular level. When I was first introduced to O2 drops, I called my health mentor and I was like, Walt, I was introduced to O2 drops. What do you think about these oxygen drops. I had never even heard of it. He said, Boomy, if you have your hands on a great oxygen product, girl, you have a hold of something phenomenal. Listen, he said, how long can you go without food? I was like, 40 days. How long can you go without water? About 4 days. How long can you go without oxygen? And then the light bulb went off. Try going 4 minutes without oxygen and something bad will happen to you. So oxygen is the human body's number one most vital nutrient. Guys, get yourself O2 drops today. Now, again, the disclaimer, we're not saying the product treats, cures, or heals anything, but we're saying this. When you give the body what it needs in a form that it can use it in, it will do amazing things, and that is heal itself. I have lots of O2 drops testimonial videos all over YouTube. Google my name and put in O2 drops and see what comes up. We've had people, Dr. Darrell shared O2 drops with a young lady whose husband's face was paralyzed, his body was paralyzed from a stroke he had. Within 2 weeks, he started moving his face again. Bobby Owens from Greensboro, North Carolina. Her husband, too, had a stroke. Now he's moving his body parts better than he ever could before after the stroke. We had people who've actually gotten their sense of smell back, guys. I'm telling you, oh my gosh, like today, all day, my phone was ringing with person after person after person calling in to purchase the buy two, get one free special of O2 drops. So a bottle, this is a month supply right here. It's only $45. If you buy 2 bottles, you get one free. Pay for 2, you get a third for free with no shipping. That is for the month of April. No shipping on the buy 2, get one free. Now, let me tell you, another reason why you want to get multiple bottles is this. Every morning, you're going to put 15 drops under your tongue. During the day, you're going to do the same. And at night before you go to bed, you're definitely going to do that. Then, if you have any eye issues, you want to put drops in your eyes. See that? People say, Boomy, can you put your drops in your eyes? Absolutely. This is pH balance. Most oxygen products are not pH balanced. This is safe enough for babies. Most oxygen products are not safe enough for a newborn baby. This is totally safe. There's no negative anything that you can get from using O2 drops. In fact, you better start oxygenating yourselves with everything that's going on here in the world, guys. You need O2 drops. I have a friend from Baltimore. She has cystic breasts. She started using the O2 drops on her breast, and by day 2, the swelling, the cyst has started going down. For weeks, her husband couldn't even hug her because it was so painful. He could hug her again thanks to using O2 drops. She used them under her tongue and topically on the breast. So you can use O2 drops topically for pain. You want to put it in your eyes. You can brush your teeth with it, and it whitens your teeth. Yes, oxygen is so much power in it. Y'all remember the guy about OxyClean whitening, like oxygen in that laundry detergent? So oxygen has so much power. Now, let me show you all this testimony. My goodness. Benefits for both humans and pets. What incredible testimonies we have, guys, for pets. People put O2 drops in their pets' water bowls. We have dogs who were on their last leg. They just weren't running around anymore or anything like that, getting their life back, okay? And I see Jeff is saying, hey, I need that list. I'll get you one of these papers, Jeff. Absolutely. All right. Oh, he said my mom's testimony is amazing. Well, my mother had a condition where under her arm, it had gotten red and black and cracked, and it hurt just to put down against her body. She went to the internist. He couldn't figure out what it was. Second opinion to the dermatologist. He didn't know. He gave her some cream. That didn't work. This was 4 years ago when we first heard about O2 drops. So we were listening to the information, listening to the calls, and my father said, well, Boomy, they say you can use it topically. Let's put some of these drops on your mother's underarms. So my father put the drops on my mother's underarms within less than 10 minutes, not 10 days, not 10 weeks or 10 hours. In less than 10 minutes, all of the pain that she had been in for weeks was gone. She kept on using the drops, and within was less than a week, her underarm just looked like a normal healed up underarm. And we were like, oh my gosh, we just couldn't believe it. And so we wish we had taken before and after pictures, but we were new to the O2 drops. We didn't know. After that, we just started calling everybody because we're a family that's big on health and helping people to be healthy. And so we started calling everybody and saying, hey, have you heard about those O2 drops? Oh my gosh, you got to get some O2 drops. And people were like, oh, let me get some. And the testimonies started rolling in, and they've been rolling in for 4 years straight, guys, 4 years straight. So what else do we have? Oh, we've had people who've gotten off of oxygen tanks. We have people who used to have asthma attacks every weekend going to the emergency room. Asthma attacks stop. You know anybody who has migraine headaches? There's a guy named Terry from out of California. He said he had what was called suicide headaches. Like they're worse than migraines. You want to kill yourself. He started using O2 drops, and his suicide headaches, at first they just kind of, got better. Then they totally dissipated. When I talked to him, he hadn't had any in months, thanks to the power of oxygen. Y'all, I'm super fired up about this. I could go on and on and on. I mean, I've got 4 years worth of testimonies. People whose pain is gone. Their movement is better. Literally. Now, watch this one. When you get on YouTube, search for Boomy Moore O2 drops eye testimonies. Again, we're not saying a product treats, cures, and heals, but when you give the body what it needs in a form it can use it in, the body can do amazing things, and that's heal itself. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. When we give it that oxygen, guys, awesome things happen. We had a guy who was legally blind. He started using O2 drops in his eyes, and before he couldn't see anything, then he started being able to see like the snow, like kind of stuff on TV. We have people who put the drops in their eyes, and within 5 minutes, they're like, oh my gosh, I needed my reading glasses. Now I do not need my reading glasses. I'm telling you, we say this product has been kissed by God. So when I first started using it, what I noticed was that when I woke up in the morning, I didn't have that groggy feeling. Because it's like, okay, I didn't have any pain. I'm not sick, and I don't have prescription drugs. So I'm like, okay, what could it do for me? I noticed that I had a sense of clarity, no grogginess. And then again, like I said, I used it on my skin. And oh my gosh, if this didn't clear up my skin, again, you see all of the bumps and breakouts to clear, smooth skin. So use the O2 drops topically on your face, men and women. Let's see if there's anything else that I want to point out. Oh, anybody need help with like focus and memory and energy? It's in this little bottle. Plant-derived minerals. You heard him talking about zinc. You heard him talking about magnesium. Listen, all minerals are not created equal. You got to have the particle size is small enough to get into the cells. When you get minerals, most times from like Walmart or whatever, they are pharmaceutical grade minerals. They're 10,000 times larger than a micron, meaning they're too large to get into your cells. So it's just floating around in your bloodstream. Like if you have calcium floating around in your bloodstream and it's not being absorbed to your cells, you're like, why do I have these cystic breasts? Because just calcium has to be deposited somewhere. So you got to get the minerals in a form that it can get right into your cells and be used. And again, living minerals here in O2 drops. So the zinc and the magnesium, even chromium, that's in here. So Jeff says, I got my 3 bottles today. Awesome, Jeff. Jeff is an insurance professional helping people. If you need insurance, look him up on Facebook. He's helping people all types of insurance needs because that wealth part is very important too. Got to have your health right and your wealth right, right? So see Jeff Harris for that. Then we have one of my high school friends, Lavette Harris, saying, I need this. Well, guess who else needs this? Anybody who has cells needs this. Guys, whether it's a plant, a person, or a pet, if it has cells, it can benefit from oxygen, okay? It's so important. So I see Miss T saying, how can I purchase the O2 drops? Well, get back with me or whoever referred you to this video today, and we will place your order. Like literally something about the energy of today. My phone has been ringing since I think about 11 o'clock today. Bam, 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 just people calling to order. I don't know if they saw my video on Facebook or if it's something in the news that they're Googling about. oxygen in the immune system. But remember, as I close, guys, and Josie says, I'm ready to order. All right, Josie, girl, I've got you. And remember, if you can, guys, the best value is the buy two, get one free. One bottle is just $45 plus just a little for shipping. So if you buy 2 bottles, you get a third for free. And there's no shipping. So go ahead and get your buy two, get one free today. Look, had a guy to come here today, past my house, and bought a ton of products. And because he didn't want to wait for it online, he was just like, can I come past? And I said, sure. And so I see Django saying, hey, I need it as well. I'm going to help all of you guys. Do me a favor. Also inbox me. Go to my inbox and say, Boomy, I need those O2 drops. Okay. And then I'll make sure that I get with you. Or if you're seeing this on a watch party or somebody else share this with you, get with them immediately, guys. Care enough about yourself to invest in you. The guy came to my house today, gave me $175, and he said, this is important to me because I care about me. We give money to all sorts of things that depreciate. Put your money into your body and let your body appreciate. You guys got what I'm saying? Your body is one of the greatest assets that you have. Invest in it. So whether it is for yourself, which is number one priority. If you have children, you need to give your children O2 drops. If you have parents, you need to make sure your parents have O2 drops. One last testimony. And again, guys, I could go on and on and on because I got 4 years worth of testimonies with this product. So Dr. Hatch, she's a chiropractor out of Albany, Georgia. Her mother unfortunately caught the COVID virus. And listen to what happened. So her mom was sitting at a table at her assisted living facility. And there's a lady who's a good friend that she always sits across the table from. And this lady had to go to the hospital because she caught the COVID virus. So the lady died. So Dr. Hatch's mom was told about her friend dying, and she fell out onto the ground and hit her hip. And so they said, well, you need to go to the hospital. So because her friend who she sits across had the COVID virus, they tested her. She was positive for COVID virus. Now, a week later, about a week and a half after going to the hospital and finding she had the COVID virus at age 92, she is home and recuperating very well because for all of last year, this 91-year-old lady last year was taking O2 drops 3 times a day. She was oxygenating her cells. And that put her body in a strong enough state so this 92-year-old woman would be able to recuperate from the COVID virus when others in her building have died. Is that not powerful or what, guys? We all, in this pandemic time, we all need to be oxygenating ourselves. And even when this crisis is over, you should be smart enough to know that oxygen is life. And this is a practice, a habit that you need to do every day for the rest of your life because you care about you and you know that your health is your greatest wealth. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I can't wait to help you to get healthier by you using O2 drops. All right, guys, I'm waiting for your inbox. Those of you who said, hey, I need that, I'm about to hit you up. This video is officially over, but do me a favor. Comment, like, share, run watch parties. Don't let this message end today with Dr. Krauss in this video. You have got to continue it on. And watch parties allow you to do that. So what I want you to do, I want you to run a watch party off of my page and then invite 50 to 100 of your friends. Do you understand? Invite 50 to 100 of your friends to learn and hear about O2 drops and watch this as a watch party. Amanda V is a nurse. She says, I love our O2 drops. And with that, guys, this video is officially over. Thank you, Dr. Krauss. Thank you, Laura Life International. Thank you, Travis Martin and Jonathan and Dan Putnam for making this amazing product available, not just to us here in the U.S., but to other people all around the world. Have a great night, everyone.